There is a question that lies at the very heart of the human condition, a question we tend to avoid because the answer can be deeply unsettling. The question is this: are you a good person? Most of us would like to think so. We believe our character is a fixed, solid thing, like a stone statue. We are kind, we are decent, we are moral. But what if that statue is not made of stone at all? What if it's made of clay, and the circumstances of our lives are the hands that are constantly shaping and reshaping it? In 1971, a psychologist named Philip Zimbardo conducted a now infamous experiment at Stanford University. He took ordinary, healthy, well-adjusted college students and randomly assigned them to be either prisoners or guards in a simulated prison. The result was catastrophic. In less than 6 days, the guards, who were just normal students moments before, became cruel and authoritarian. The experiment had to be shut down because good people, placed in a bad situation, began to do bad things. This phenomenon is called the Lucifer Effect, named after the angel who fell from grace and became a devil. It reveals a terrifying truth. The line between good and evil is permeable. But here, we must ask a more important, more hopeful question. If situations and systems have the power to bring out our worst, do we not have the power within ourselves to resist? Today, we will not just diagnose the darkness. We will learn how to defend the light. Drawing on the wisdom of ancient philosophy from West and East, this is a guide to forging an inner character so strong that it can hold its integrity, even in the most difficult of situations. Chapter 1. The Analysis. The 3 pressures that bend our character. Before we can build our defense, we must first understand the forces working against us. When a good person does a bad thing, it's rarely a sudden snap. It's usually a surrender to one of 3 powerful situational pressures. First, there is the pressure of the role. We are not just individuals, we are a collection of roles. We are the employee, the parent, the friend, the citizen. And every role comes with a pre-written script and a costume. As the Stanford Prison Experiment showed, when we put on a guard uniform, we can start acting like a guard. When we are given a role of power, however small, we can be seduced into using it. Second is the pressure of the group. Humans are social creatures, wired for belonging. This deep need to be accepted can often overpower our own moral compass. We see this in the psychology of mob mentality, where individuals in a group can do things they would never do alone. They outsource their conscience to the crowd. And third, there is the pressure of the system. This is the most powerful force of all. The system, be it a corporation, a government, or a high-pressure social environment, creates the rules, the roles, and the narrative that can justify almost any action. It can frame cruelty as maintaining order, or dishonesty as just good business. These 3 pressures, role, group, and system, are the invisible hands that can bend a good person towards darkness. But the great philosophers taught that we have the power to stand firm. Chapter 2. The Philosophical Defense. Forging an unshakable inner core. How do we resist these powerful external forces? The answer is not to change the world, but to strengthen the self. Ancient wisdom from both West and East offers us a set of tools to build this inner resilience. Defense number 1, the power of self-awareness, the Socratic and Zen path. The first and most important defense is self-awareness. The political theorist Hannah Arendt, when observing the trial of a Nazi officer, coined the phrase, "the banality of evil." She was shocked to find that this man was not a monster, but an ordinary, thoughtless bureaucrat who was simply following orders. His evil was banal, because it was thoughtless. He had stopped examining his own actions. This is why the foundation of Western philosophy, from Socrates, is the command, know thyself. An unexamined life is vulnerable to external manipulation. This is mirrored in the Zen tradition, which teaches that the path to enlightenment is through radical self-observation. A Zen master might ask, what is your original face before your parents were born? This is a profound question designed to make you look past the social roles and inherited beliefs to the core of your own awareness. Imagine you are in a corporate meeting where your team is pressured by a manager to cut corners on a project in a way that is unethical. The pressure of the role, good employee, the group, everyone else is agreeing, and the system, we have to hit our numbers, is immense. The thoughtless path is to just go along with it. The path of self-awareness is to pause. It is to create a moment of inner space and ask, is this action in alignment with who I truly want to be? Is this my original face? Or is this just the mask of my role? This simple internal check-in is a powerful act of resistance. It is the moment you choose to be the author of your actions, not just an actor reading a script. Defense number 2, the power of a personal code, the Stoic and Confucian path. Self-awareness gives you the clarity to see a moral choice. But to act on that choice in the face of pressure requires a strong, predefined personal code of conduct. The Stoics, like the great Roman senator Cato the Younger, were famous for their unshakable integrity. Cato was a constant opponent of Julius Caesar's tyranny, not because it was politically convenient, but because he had a personal code of ethics from which he would not deviate, even when it cost him his life. For a Stoic, character is fate. This is beautifully mirrored in the teachings of Confucius, who emphasized that a superior person is guided by righteousness. It is an internal compass that points toward the right and moral way to act, regardless of personal gain or loss. Confucius said, "The superior man thinks of righteousness. The common man thinks of profit." Imagine a young programmer discovers that the popular app her company is building has a hidden feature that secretly collects and sells user data. The system tells her this is just how the tech world works. Her group of colleagues tells her to keep her head down and collect her paycheck. But she has cultivated a personal code, a sense of righteousness. Her code says, "I will not participate in work that deceives people." This code acts as an anchor. It simplifies the complex decision. When her manager tells her to work on the feature, her personal code makes the answer clear. She can say, "I'm sorry, but that conflicts with my personal and professional ethics, and I cannot work on that part of the project." This action may come with a cost, but that cost is external. The price of violating her own code would be internal, and a wise person knows which cost is higher. Defense number 3, the power of true belonging, the humanist path. The pressure to conform to a group is immense. The antidote is not rugged individualism, but finding a better group. It's about finding your tribe of fellow heroes. The psychologist Philip Zimbardo himself, after decades of studying evil, now runs the Heroic Imagination Project. He argues that the same social forces that can influence people to be evil can be harnessed to influence them to be heroic. One of the key ways is to foster a sense of connection with other people who share your values. The philosopher Aristotle spoke of philia, a deep, virtue-based friendship. This is not just a casual social connection. It is a bond with other people who are also striving to live a good life. These are the people who will support your courage, not question it. Let's say the programmer from the last example refuses to work on the unethical feature. The group at her company now sees her as an outsider. She feels isolated. Instead of giving in, she seeks out a new group. She joins online communities of ethical tech developers. She has coffee with a former colleague who she knows also valued integrity. She builds a small network of people who share her personal code. This new group becomes her source of strength. They validate her choice, they share opportunities, and they remind her that she is not alone. She has found her tribe of heroes. When the pressure from a negative group is strong, the solution is to find and cultivate a positive one. The heroism of the ordinary moment. The great lesson of the Stanford Prison Experiment and the Lucifer Effect is not that we are all secretly evil. It is that we are all profoundly vulnerable to the power of situations. But this vulnerability is not a life sentence. The wisdom of the ages teaches us that we have the power to resist. We are not just clay to be shaped by circumstance. We are also the sculptors. By practicing self-awareness, we learn to see the choice when it appears. By cultivating a personal code, we know what to choose, even when it's hard. And by finding our tribe of heroes, we find the strength to stand by our choice. Heroism, as Zimbardo now teaches, is not about grand, superhuman acts. It is about the ordinary person's ability to act with integrity in a difficult moment. It is the guard who shows a small kindness. It is the employee who speaks a quiet no to an unethical demand. It is the friend who stands for what is right, even when they are standing alone. The world will always present us with situations that test the quality of our character. The line between good and evil runs not between nations or groups, but down the center of every human heart. The great work of our lives is to consciously and courageously choose, in each small moment, on which side of that line we will stand.